Hello, and welcome to my first fruit review in nearly a year. It's been a while, and that's because finding new fruit is really challenging. There aren't a lot of places that don't serve fruit that I haven't already tried or reviewed in some capacity, but at the grocery store today, I found this, which is a breadfruit, and it's called that because it's it's kind of starchy and bland, according to, the little research that I've done. And it's kind of a potato substitute. It's similar to yuca or potato in that regard. I don't know how to even break into this thing. It's very hard. The flesh on the inside should be white. This, I believe, the breadfruit is a relative of the jackfruit and the durian, which you can kind of see from the outside here. Looks almost like a jackfruit crossed with a guava, Struggling to cut this thing. Okay, after a while, I cut up all the fruit. It was pretty challenging to do. And I'd say warning for people who have trypophobia or the fear of all the little holes, right? So this is what the sort of segments look like. And then here's the inside. You see all these little pores where sort of the fiber of the core of it was attached to. And so these I'm going to actually cut up into smaller segments and boil. That was one of the ways that was recommended for cooking these. And then I'm gonna try them and see how it is. And I'll season them as well. They're supposed to be kind of bland like a potato, so I'll season them, see if they adapt any of that flavor. So this is the boiled breadfruit. It's steaming. And then I made a dipping sauce to go with it because I expect it to be bland on its own. I will try it on its own, but I just made a dipping sauce with some ginger, or sorry, not ginger, no ginger in there, but with garlic, soy sauce, sesame oil, and sugar. But yeah, I'm gonna try it on its own first and see how I like it. So here goes nothing. It's really not too flavorful at all. It's kind of firm. Firm like if you sort of undercooked a squash maybe. And it has a little hint of sort of squash flavor in it, as well as like plantain maybe. It has a sort of squash plantain, I don't know what to call it because it's not really bitter, it's not really savory, it's not sweet. But there is sort of a distinct flavor to it. I'm gonna try it in the dipping sauce, see how it pairs. It's a little better because it adds more flavor to it. Interestingly enough, the breadfruit absorbed a lot of the water. And so when I bit into it, it kind of shot water into the back of my mouth. That's why I gagged. It wasn't bad or anything. Yeah. I think the fried application of this might be a bit better, because that's typically how it's eaten, like in Indonesian street food. They'll fry it in kind of like plantain chips, but with breadfruit. But I hesitate to call it bad. It's just a little odd, spongy sort of texture, but also very firm. I may not have cut the skin off deeply enough, because as you can see here, there's this sort of layer of light green, which is where the skin attached to the flesh. And maybe I should have cut that off, because I believe that part is where a lot of this sort of slightly bitter flavor is coming from. And this is the more sort of bland plantain-like flavor. And the texture is also less firm there. It's more spongy here. But yeah, it's an odd experience, but not one that I can really say is too good or too bad. On its own, I'd probably rate it a 4, and then with the dipping sauce, probably a 5 out of 10. So, yeah, that's breadfruit.